Hello everyone, today we're going to learn a new lesson. For that, allow me to read our objectives first. At the end of the lesson, the students will be able to define what a fraction is and identify its parts, such as numerator and denominator. Show appreciation for the importance of fractions in daily life and write fractions correctly from visual representations. So let's begin. What is a fraction? A fraction is a number that shows a part of a whole. In identifying parts of a whole, I have here a whole piece of pizza. The pizza itself is called the whole. I divided it into 8 parts, or 8 slices. Each slices is called the parts. So, fractions express part of a whole. How to write fractions? As you can see, fractions are written using 2 whole numbers and a line. For example, I have here a whole bunch of pizza. I divided it into 8 slices. So I decided to eat 1 part of the pizza. So the fraction becomes 1 over 8, where 1 is the number of parts taken from a whole, or what we call the numerator, and 8 is the total number of equal parts in a whole, or what we call the denominator. If I'm going to eat the whole bunch of pizza with the slices of 8 parts, the fraction becomes 8 over 8. Let's have another example. I have here a chocolate bar which is divided into 8 parts. If I'm going to take away the 2 parts, the fraction becomes 2 over 8. If I'm going to take away the 4 parts of the chocolate bar, it becomes 4 over 8. Did you know that fractions has different types? You see, the fractions has the same denominator or the same number of denominators, then it is called similar fractions. If the fractions has different numbers of denominator, then it is called dissimilar fraction. If the numerator is lesser than the denominator, then it is called proper fraction. And if the numerator is greater than the denominator, then it is called improper fraction.
Okay, so let's talk about comparing simple fraction. I will explain to you the fraction and how we compare fraction. A fraction shows us a part of a whole. For example, we have a 1 whole pizza and cut it into equal slices. A fraction tells us how many slices we have. The top number of a fraction is called the numerator, and it shows the number parts we have. And the bottom number is called the denominator, and it shows the total number of equal parts the whole is divided into. For example, 3/8, the pizza is cut into 8 slices, and we have 3 slices. So let's begin comparing fractions that have the same denominators. When your fraction have the same denominator, it means the whole is divided into the same number of pieces. To compare them, we look at the numerators. What is again the numerators? Yes, the numerator are the top numbers. The bigger numerator means the bigger fractions because it shows how many pieces we have. For example, 5/8 and 3/8 both have the same denominator, which is the number 8. So we compare the 5 and 3. Which is bigger, the 5 or 3? Yes, very good. 5 is bigger than 3, so 5/8 is bigger than 3/8. Okay, so let's again compare fractions that have the same numerator. When your fraction have the same numerator, it means that the number. Okay, so let's try to compare fraction with the same numerator. When your fraction have the same numerator, it means we have the same number of parts, but the denominators are different. So the sizes of the parts are different. Now that you already know the fraction, let's try these examples. Which is bigger, 2/5 or 4/5? Yes, since the denominators are the same, we look at the numerators. 4 is greater than 2, so 4/5 is bigger than 2/5. Very good. Let's try this one. Which is bigger, 1/3 or 1/8? Yes, very good. Since the numerators are the same, we look at the denominators. A smaller denominator means bigger parts. So 1/3 is bigger than 1/8. Let's try this last example. Which is bigger, 3/4 or 5/6? Yes, very good. The denominators are different, so we make them the same. 3/4 becomes 9/12 and 5/6 becomes 10/12. Since 10 is bigger than 9, 5/6 is bigger than 3/4. Always remember these rules by comparing simple fractions. If your denominators are the same, what you need to do is you're going to compare the numerators. And if numerators are the same, you just need to compare the denominators. And if both denominators are different, make them the same and then compare. Understanding these rules make it easier to know which fraction is bigger or smaller. Fractions are important because we use them in our daily lives, like when sharing food, measuring ingredients, and dividing time